And if you can cut it down or cut it out, more power to you, better for you.
We will focus on 5 foods that we may think are healthy, but actually should be avoided for our healthy long life. First food we should avoid is plant-based processed foods, especially the ultra-processed foods.
Another example would be plant-based foods.
Plant-based could be tricky because a lot of ultra-processed foods also have plant materials in it. Processed soy, all kinds of other things, all kinds of unhealthy oils made from plants.
You know, the plant-based burgers that they talked about that everyone says is a healthier version than, a regular burger. We know that ultra-processed foods that you buy anywhere are not good for our overall health. And in fact, it compromises our metabolism when we eat too many ultra-processed foods. And although something that might be plant-based sounds healthy, in fact, when it's ultra-processed, it winds up being something less than healthy. Be careful about not being snowed by the marketing messages that are out there. Understand what we're looking for in terms of healthy foods and kind of exclude everything that's not.
So the same goes for ultra-processed meat.
All the studies have shown that eating processed meats, we're talking about our sausages and the pepperonis and all kinds of other hot dogs, all that kind of stuff. That's been classified by the World Health Organization as a carcinogen, by the way, processed meats. Once in a while, especially if that's something you really enjoy, don't worry about it. Knock yourself out, enjoy it, but do not do it all the time. And if you can cut it down or cut it out, more power to you, better for you. Idea of moderation. But if you're informed by science and you can actually then listen to your body, if you feel like crap after eating something, don't go for it. Don't eat it the next time.
Dr. William Lee summarizes what we should eat. Whole plant-based foods.
Whole plant-based foods. It's kind of stuff you'd find at a grocery store or a farmer's market. Okay, like I would say mostly go for those.
Next food we should avoid is fruit juice.
Another one is fruit juice. I enjoy drinking the taste of fruit juice, but when you guzzle fruit juice, which many people do, it's a problem. I'll give you an example. I love oranges, especially when they're in season during the winter. I love eating regular, juicy, sweet orange. I love all the fiber that's in it. I love the taste of the whole orange. A single orange is very nutrient dense. It would take me a few minutes to eat an orange, but I could guzzle down a tall glass of orange juice, which it would take 8 oranges to make in 30 seconds. So that's an example of where you can easily overload the fruit sugars by having a tall glass of its juice instead of eating the whole fruit. Some of the fruit juices you get in a store are also sweetened. And so people don't check the ingredients to look at all those other additives that are in there as well.
Next, we should avoid artificial sweeteners, like those you find in diet drink.
When we consume things like diet sodas, it's been shown now that many of those artificial sweeteners, non-nutritive sweeteners, when we consume them, alter our gut microbiome. They change the neighborhood. We know this from clinical studies because ironically, even though people drink diet sodas so they don't gain weight with sugar, ironically, many people do gain weight if they consume enough diet soda. So if you poison your gut microbiome sufficiently and you disrupt your metabolism sufficiently, even though you're having, quote, diet soda, that's just a name on the can. The reality is that we're actually changing the biology in our body in such a way that our body's actually going to start to grow body fat and use our food, our fuel source, much less efficiently. We all get confused by the surround sound of marketing of things that are supposedly healthy. And I think that you can think about like diet sodas being better than regular sugar sweetened sodas. Not true. Diet sodas with artificial sweeteners damage our gut health, which then damages our metabolism, which can actually have tremendous impact in our body's metabolism.
If you must sweeten some of your foods or beverages, Dr. William Lee has suggested monk fruit or maple syrup.
One of the things that is good to know about maple syrup is that it's a natural form of sweetener. So if you're trying to avoid granulated sugar, refined sugar, you can also use maple syrup to sweeten foods and beverages. Studies have been done from the University of Quebec in Montreal looking at the anti-angiogenic, that is the cancer-starving, circulation, health-improving properties of maple syrup.
Next is what many of us might eat every day: bread.
So for bread, as an example, the least expensive, softest, longest lasting breads that you can buy in the grocery store, in the supermarkets, are the ones that are made with the lowest quality flour and that have lots of other preservatives added to it to allow it to kind of survive the centuries. Like some of these breads probably could stay intact in a pyramid, for thousands of years. And yet those are some of the cheapest ones that people are accustomed to, maybe from childhood. Our mom might have fed us this and made our sandwiches out of this, and we become accustomed to having cheap bread. That's one thing, is the quality of the grain used for something as elemental as bread.
But there is one type of healthy bread that Dr. William Li frequently mentions, which we can enjoy consuming for our health.
There are some historically important breads like sourdough. This is sourdough, one of my favorite breads, which in fact has microbiome probiotic starters that are good for our gut health. For example, like Lactobacillus reuteri, it happens to be one of the starters. It's found in our gut bacteria. It's actually developed over the centuries of humans making sourdough bread generation after generation to develop its own probiotic bacteria that grows right in the bread itself, in the little dough that gets pinched and saved from baker to baker and passed down through the generations.
So when it comes to bread, we have to remember one thing.
Volume. A little bread probably is just fine. But eating bread the way that we are often served bread or accustomed to eating bread, which is wolfing down large quantities of bread, that clearly, like anything else, is consumed in excess, definitely can compromise our health.
Finally, let's talk about milk when it comes to tea and coffee.
I deeply respect traditions of eating and drinking. And one of the things that, I know is a tradition in England is, or in Ireland, you actually put some milk or cream into your tea. It actually changes the flavor profile, and it's lovely. Put dairy in it. Here's what you need to know. Dairy, and I'm talking about cow dairy. Cow dairy, actually is fat. Milk has got fat in it, like butter, which is made out of milk. And the fat, when you put it into your tea, does change its flavor, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the fact that when milk or cream is put into tea, the fat molecules in the cow dairy form little soap bubbles. These are microscopic soap bubbles. They're called micelles. Fat likes to stick with fat. And so tea is mostly water. And so when you pour milk into tea, the bubbles, dairy fat sticks together and makes a little tiny soap bubble. And what does it do? Those soap bubbles trap the polyphenols from tea. It traps the catechin. So you've got some good stuff wrapped in the soap bubble of dairy. And now when you drink the tea, the catechin is trapped in the soap bubble. It doesn't get absorbed as easily in your stomach, and it just rolls down your gut, and a lot of it comes out the other end. Okay. And so you're missing out on a lot of the good stuff. If you're drinking cow milk, dairy, put it in your tea, you're getting good flavor, but you're missing out on most of the polyphenols. So just be aware that that's what you're actually doing. Now, if you want to actually still cut the tea with something that is milk-like, nut milks are fine because they don't actually have the same fatty reaction that cow dairy has. So almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk, they're all fine.
One food we all already know is bad for us is alcohol.
Overconsumption